This is Julie with ascendingmentoring.com, and I am asking you to consider this. It is the beginning of a new year. It is 2022. And today I want to talk a little bit about goals, about expectations. What does that mean? What is an expectation? Are goals really the best way to go about creating what you want? We've talked a little bit in the past about what it looks like or what it could look like. I've asked you to consider what it could look like to create in a way that's intentional, and you do so with heaven's help. So today I want to talk a little bit about that. And I want to talk about the experience of creating with a goal and an expectation, and the experience of creating with hope energy. What would that look like if you created with hope energy? And how do you do that? So I'd like for you to consider creating with hope energy instead of creating with expectations and with goals. So I'm going to give you an example of how I've done this in my life. When I learned the concept of creating with hope instead of creating with goals and having an expectation, I realized that there was a different energy behind it. When you create with a goal, sometimes you have this long-term goal, and then you make these smaller goals so that if I follow this path and I meet all of these goals, the expectation is by the time I hit it and I finish with my last goal, I'll have this wonderful outcome. That can feel like a push or a force energy. And what happens if you don't meet that expectation? What if that desired outcome never comes to fruition? Oftentimes, like we talked in our last video, we have a setback, or we have a failure, or maybe we've made a mistake, or what's wrong with me, or there was something wrong with the goal or the experience, or the person that was supposed to help me, it's their fault, right? There's this feeling of failure, or there's a setback, or so on and so forth. A lot of times it's because there is a goal that has to be met in order to meet this final expectation. And that can feel like a push and a force energy. So I'm going to ask you to consider creating in a new energy, and that's in a hope energy. What does that look like? So I'm going to tell you my experience. We have an area at the side of our house. It's on the north side of our home. And when we bought this home, that area was undeveloped. It actually was a place where, as we looked at it and dug around and kind of decided, hey, what do we want to do with this unlandscaped area? It really was where they put the extra concrete. It's where they put the extra gravel. It was just kind of a mess. And then it had all of this not good soil, but dirt that kind of just covered. It was almost like their garbage pile that the builders would use. So it seemed overwhelming, and we just didn't want to deal with it. Well, as life has it, during the year of 2020, when a lot of us got called back home and we were at home for a while, quarantining and taking care of our families and such, we had all this extra time, and we thought, hey, let's do something with that area of our backyard, that side of our house. Well, I thought, I want to move about this in a different way. I would like to create in hope energy instead of in this, I expect it to look like this, and I need to make all these goals so that it will show up. And what I did in staying in a hope energy is I thought, what is the desire of my heart? What potential outcome would I love to see? Am I willing to let that change? Am I willing to let that flow? Am I willing to let that expand and grow and dream big, and then let it shrink into something that's maybe more doable, and then let it grow again, and literally allow what it will look like to be this living organic thing, and not this rigid, it must look like this, it has to be done at this time. And I will tell you, I wasn't perfect at staying in hope energy as I created. But the minute I shifted back to that old energy of, no, we have a goal. No, it has to get done. No, we're in a time constraint. The minute I shifted to that old energy, I could feel it. And I'd take 3 deep breaths, and I'd remind myself, okay, this isn't the way I want to create. And the expectation, I might fail at that. It might turn out different, and I don't want that experience. So I'm going to go back to hope energy. So what hope energy looks and feels like is this. What is the desire of your heart? For me, in this one particular instance, I wanted a space that was beautiful. I wanted a space that was functional. We could go back there and use it. I wanted a space where maybe we could gather as a family. We could have friends come over. We could entertain. I wanted a space where we'd be able to create memories. And so that was my hope. What did that look like? I didn't know. What did that look like? I didn't have to know. All I know is that hope and that desire really resonated with me, and they were in harmony with each other. So for me, if I'm going to create with deity, if I'm going to be a co-creator with heaven, I needed to pray about it. I needed to bring heaven's help in this. And as I started praying about it and asking, hey, this is what I would like. What would that look like? What are my options here? How could you inspire me? I'm ready for this or something better. What would that look like? I literally left myself open for inspiration. And funny things happened. I started noticing other people's backyards and maybe what they had in their backyard. Some of my friends, I would, hey, what have you got? I know that you've been working in your backyard, improving it, changing it. Do you mind if I come over? I started listening and hearing how other people were refurbishing or recreating things in their backyard. And that got me, well, let's look and see what's available on Pinterest or what people have done and videos on YouTube. And I just started opening up my possibilities. This could be anything. Wow, we could really create anything in this area. And the expectations were gone. And that freedom of just dreaming and open up for possibilities was so much fun. So at the end of all those dreamings and looking at things and writing things down and literally letting my hope change, expand and shrink, and literally just letting it go through this organic growth process and developing process, I came up with what I would love to see back there. I worked with my husband. He put in some of his hopes and dreams, and we just tweaked it until it felt really good. And then at that point, it wasn't, all right, now we got to find the right people, or we've got to designate time to get back there and make it happen. It was, how should we move forward? And it was a matter of prayer. It was a matter of waiting to have intuition and inspiration and feeling good about the next step. And then I would move forward. Once I felt good about it, I would call a certain person or get advice from someone else or look up someone on a website that maybe could do some work for me. And when I felt good and I felt comfortable and I was excited, then I would move forward. And I tried to just stay in that hope energy the entire time as I created with heaven. And the fun part is after I had decided what I'd love for it to look like and my husband had put in his input and we moved forward with this vision, it changed. It changed. It expanded. We had more excitement about what else we could put in there and what it might look like. And it was just this beautiful experience of here is my heart's desire, here is my hope, but I'm open for something better. And that something better was created because I created it with heaven's help. I was a co-creator. I didn't set a goal, I didn't set a timeline, and I didn't have an expectation. I just allowed it to organically happen. And I allowed myself to be inspired on what it would look like, who could help, what responsibilities I got to take in it. It was a beautiful experience. So what it turned out to be, in case you were wondering, is we've got this beautiful area now where it's all level. We've got this great big cement pad, which we ended up putting this beautiful pergola, which has electricity in it, which has a fan in it, which has these really cute little lights that go around the edge of it. I wasn't expecting any of that. I hadn't even dreamt of any of that. And then we've got a wall that goes around our HVAC unit, which was kind of an eyesore, but now that's all concealed. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's part of the home now, this wall. We've got another paved area where we have a brand new grill. We have a paved area in the other corner where we have a fire pit and some cute benches. We've got another raised bed where we've got beautiful lantana bushes and some other beautiful flowers that drape over the edge. Up against another wall, we have 3 great jasmine plants that are vines that are just growing beautifully. You've got this nice outdoor rug that's under the pergola, a beautiful table setting with chairs and some extra benches for gathering. And we've hosted lots of birthday parties back there and just family dinners back there. And it just turned out so beautifully. And the energy that I was able to create with was this excitement energy and open energy and inspired energy instead of, I have to get this done. Here is the goal. Here's the time constraint. This is the expectation I must meet. It was a totally different experience in creating what my heart desired and what my hope was, instead of what my goal is and what my expectations are. So it's just a new way of looking at, what do we want to create? What do we want to experience? And being a new year, this is a good time to really reflect and make decisions. Dream big. Allow those hopes to grow. Allow them to change. Allow them to be open to receive even more. And then choose in that hope energy to create with deity, with heaven's power as a co-creator. So this is what I invite you to consider. If this is helpful to you, please check out my other videos that I have on this YouTube channel. And if you enjoy this content, check out my website, ascendingmentoring.com. There are courses there that are available for anyone to purchase that I really think will benefit your life. Until next time, thanks.